Hear all videos here, to base be the glory.
Who that what? Who that? Who that what? Who that what? Who that what? Who that? Who that what? Who that what? 28 what? Who that? Hold that what? Who that what? Feedback what? Who that? Whoa, slim way. Whoa, who that what?
Welcome to episode 2 of Who That Podcast here. It's all that work. I have my long-time friends in media and just in general. Top. No, I can't. She doesn't want me to break down with top.
I'll leave them wondering. Mystery.
But the reason why I bring up how long we know each other because I've never publicly told you how much I admire you.
Oh, wow. Really?
So I met you in 2009 when Twitter first came out. You was already vlogging by then. At that point, I was blogging. I was writing about sports and music. But when it came time for me to actually do vlogs, I used you as I watched your stuff as to how do we come. So Who That started 2014. So it was 5. I've known you for 5 years prior to that. It's like, okay, who do I know in the Bahamas stars, this type of stuff. You know, so I was on your page. I used to watch your stuff.
Wow.
Like this, like that. So yeah, I wanted to start the episode just publicly saying how much I admire what you.
Wow, I appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you.
And of course, Who That is just about who are you? And I'm not gonna get too deep and too touchy with whatever, but just talk to me about why this field? Why did you become top?
Well, I feel like for me, it was just a natural kind of progression of who I am. Like I always joke and I tell my friends, like I came up my mother's vagina, crip walking creative. Like this is not something, I was like, this is not something I tried. It's just something I was always doing. Like one of my earliest memories of my younger self is literally being in my bedroom and remember when there were cassette tapes with the radio and you could like record over it somehow. Yeah. And I would record my own like radio shows. I would write songs. This is what I would do to make myself feel safe, to make myself feel, happy, to express myself. And it's something I always did. And it just has been a natural progression. And, I'm really lucky and really blessed to make it this far. But it's just something that's in me, I guess. And I've been blessed with some great gifts from God. And that's just what it is.
And shout out to you bringing up this Dunkin' on Sunday. I ate your donut by accident again.
You might forget this the second time you did that. You did on the show. I specifically said... Exactly. First of all, you would sell me on my own show and eat my donut. I specifically... Anybody who knows me knows I was an Oreo freak. I love Oreos. I used to literally go to... When I go to the States or I knew anybody going to the States, they'd be like, what you want? Bring me back the different Oreos because we didn't have them here. And I said on set... Don't touch the Oreo. There's a clip in that. You will see. Don't touch the Oreo. And you come right in and eat my Oreo. I don't like that.
I'm sorry.
I gotta let that go.
I'm sorry. So you talk about it being in you. Do you think it has something to do with how you're both heritages? You think it's because I think the Caribbean people are the best in the world. So you have the name in Jamaica. Are your parents or your family that inclined creatively, or are you the first of your family?
No, I'm definitely not the first. My grandfather actually used to play with the Lou Adams Orchestra. Anyone who knows anything about, I guess, music history in the Bahamas would know who Lou Adams is and like all the great things they've done. So my grandfather actually used to play in that band as a musician. And then my father is a musician full time. So my whole life growing up, my dad was always in the entertainment industry in terms of music. So that wasn't anything foreign to me. So I do think that influenced my love for entertaining. And in terms of my Jamaican side, which is my mom's side, my mom's Jamaican, I don't really know so much about the artistic side because it's only in recent time I've become more like exploring my Jamaican side and actually going to Jamaica. But I can tell you this, that Jamaican confidence. And I think like when I went to Jamaica earlier this year, for the first time as an adult, like I was like, okay, I see it. Like I saw myself in the people a lot. Like they have this confidence and this mind your businessness and this like, okay, I'm here. And I think like that possibly is like Jamaican influence. But I agree, like Caribbean people, we the funniest. Effortlessly, we don't try. We funniest, jokiest, most stylish. We've influenced culture so much from hip hop. We literally created the basis for hip hop. A Jamaican man did that.
Exactly.
Like you mentioned on the show, Sidney Poitier, first black man get an Oscar. Like Caribbean people were always shaping culture, and we don't get enough credit for it. We don't on a international scale. We don't when we've influenced so many people, and so many people bite us all the time, and we don't get credit.
Like last week, they celebrated 150 years of Miami being a city, and out of the like 20 people that make Miami a city, 15 were Bahamian.
I could literally,
like, we literally built, we physically built
yeah.
Miami, and we also signed our names.
The project, all that, we did that. Yeah.
And the reason why I asked why you took the road you take, because when I first met you, I was writing music blogs and I knew you could sing. So I always thought maybe she doing this for now, but she eventually traced a singing type of career or writing for singers. Was that ever a path for you?
So, well, you took to me really, really going deep in the ball. You really know me. So anyone who knows me, like from back in the day, the Hill, knows that I can sing. And I used to do like a lot of background vocals, write songs, with Shadi, Sniper, all of them at the Hill, Tanaj. And, music, I would say honestly, was my first love. Like I used to write a lot of songs, like eat, breathe, sleep music. And I think I will get back into it. I feel like when something's in you, you can't really escape it. But my main thing is like, don't try to box me in. Like I would say, like boxes are for Amazon, and I, you know,
this ain't
no. And there's a lot that I can do, and I don't like to be limited. And I think I'll circle back to it. I thought about it a lot this year. But with the music, I think the reason why that kind of phased out is because, for me, I don't know how other people feel, but music is harder for me to control. I don't want to sound like a control freak, but
as creators, we want to be able to control our
I mean, especially when you're in the industry and you don't have all of us we didn't have money when we started doing this, so
I still don't.
So it's like, okay, with vlogging and video, I control that shit. I have my ring light, I have my phone, I can edit myself if I have to. I'm the one setting up everything, edit, publishing, and with music, it was more difficult because I couldn't play an instrument. I don't know how to mix or engineer or build a beat. So I was dependent on a lot of people, and a lot of people be people in.
Yeah.
So it just became incredibly frustrating. And so I just started doing vlogs, and I think I'll always come back to music. Maybe, I don't know. Music makes me anxious too. It's very anxiety inducing because I feel like with music, it's way more personal. I feel like with influencing my shows, I can have a persona and that protects me and it's good. But with music, it's way more personal because I used to write my own songs and like that used to be like my real life. And so it's kind of freaky. It freaks me out for people that actually get to know the real me. I don't like that.
And that's why when you said New Year's Day that you were going missing, I was like, I low-key expected. I know all the facets of you, but I thought you was gonna go come out as an artist. I didn't
really.
Yeah, that was my personal, and I didn't want to ask because I wanted to be surprised.
Thank you.
I wanted to be surprised. So I thought you was going to go write about your trials and tribulations in the industry.
Wow.
I thought you was gonna come back. So if you do come back and do this, I want to be able to have a listening party for you.
Wow.
Yeah, if you do that. So after, and I think what most people know you for is the vlogs. And before the influencer, it was the comedy. And like I always tell you, you're a funny person. So that made you, and I know you hate being boxed in. So I think because that whatever time period there was, you was known for those funny blogs, people thought that was who talk what.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you had to transition to you want be pro-black, a black woman, strong woman, or the influencer, and all these type of things. And they might have said to you, well, you just is a funny girl, why are you doing this? Did you feel in your ascent and throughout your stages, like the stress of having to, I want to act, but y'all want me to be funny. Like, have you talk to me about that?
I mean, that's incredibly frustrating. You know, I'm a creative and I'm sensitive about my shit, and so it has been frustrating. But at the same time, there's two sides of it. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I don't give a fuck because I'm that type of person. I'm always gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do because the things I have done, it has not been for a clout or for attention or to get a bag. I literally do stuff from my heart. So when I was doing those skits, it was because this is what's going on in my mind. This is my creativity where it's coming, and I'm gonna flow with it. When that kind of stopped and I wasn't feeling it, I didn't force it. I don't want to force things that don't occur naturally just to get people's attention or go viral. So every stage of my career and all the things I do, it's just always come from the heart. So a part of me is like, I don't give a fuckity fuck. But then other parts, sometimes it's frustrating when people keep they're like, oh, when you gonna bring back Shaniqua? Like all the time. Even to today, people still ask her.
I can't remember what it was called, Shaniqua,
Yeah, and I'm just like, y'all realize I was like 18, 19 years old? You expect me to do the same thing?
I think you need to have a public funeral for Shaniqua. I think you need to do like a vlog, burying Shaniqua.
No, I don't even want to. Actually, I don't even know where she is. Yeah. I have no clue.
She missing.
She's a mystery. Unsolved mysteries. But it can be frustrating, but then I got to be like, okay, don't take it the wrong way. People actually give a fuck about you. And you need to be grateful.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they didn't give a fuck, they wouldn't ask. And it's sometimes it's hard for me to reconcile that because, like I said, I'm it's weird being a personality and
a person.
And I am outspoken and I can't be sociable, but I also have become way more isolated over the years and way more like part-time introvert. So sometimes it's hard to deal with all that, but I'm like, you know what? Don't take it the bad way. Take it a good way. If people weren't concerned, especially Bahamians don't be bigging up no one or, you know, running behind no one.
So the fact that they're
asking means they concerned and they were impacted in some kind of positive way, whether they had a new thought or they were entertained. And I just need to be grateful and humble for that. And I keep reminding myself, like, stop taking, because that shit used to irk me. I ain't even lie. I'm a very sensitive person, you know, and again, it's like my creativity is so interwoven into who I am. It's hard to separate and hard not to take it personal sometimes. But a lot of times I just be like, fuck it. Because you know what I realized too? When you're an originator, when you're a pioneer, sometimes the audience and people don't know what you want, but they want until you give it to them. Because it's not like no one told me start doing vlogs. I started doing that. And they enjoyed it. No one told me, oh, you should do political videos. I did it. And no one said, oh, you should interview Deputy Prime Minister or interview this one. I did it. And then they were like, oh, we like this. Do more. So sometimes you have to take those risks. And I am the type of person I'm not afraid to take a risk. I don't care. If I fall, well, just try something else and see how it works out next time.
My favorite quote something. It says, fall 7 times, get up 8. So it's much times. And other lessons are learned in failure.
Facts.
So you're a woman who doesn't censor themselves. Do you ever feel that was the wrong choice? Have you ever woken up one day and be like, I'm wrong, I still never want? Because sometimes you talk about anything, you know, and we live in society sadly where men and women try to censor women and say, oh, you shouldn't be saying penis and all that type of things. Have you ever felt like, maybe even for like a millisecond, that you shouldn't have been in the room?
No.
Never ever?
No.
Great, amazing.
I tell people, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing God's work. I'm sorry. Like, when it comes to putting myself out there, putting my body out there, body positivity, making other women feel good. Let me tell you, I don't see, I'm getting to vlog mode. I truly don't give a shit, specifically if I'm upsetting men. I don't give a shit. Be upset. I'm not here for men. I'm here for women. I'm a woman. I'm a Black woman. I know the struggles we face. I'm a Black Caribbean woman and the struggles we face. I'm here for women. I could give a shit less who says, oh, she says penis, she's vulgar, whatever. You know what matters to me when I get messages like this week when girls are telling me, oh, I wish I could be confident like you. Tell me how to be confident. Oh, Top, I went through the same thing. I was harassed and the police didn't do this. Oh, Top, I've been in a domestic violence relationship. Oh, Top, I've been cheated on. Thank you so much for putting this video out. That's what matters to me. Those are the people I'm trying to reach. And if it's one thing I say, like, anyone who misunderstands me, you were never for me anyway. What Lil Nas X say, you were never really rooting for me anyway. You are not my tribe. You are not my people. I love that song. That's my new gym song.
I ain't like, I still one of the gay colleagues I love that song. I ain't ever watch a video because it's uncomfortable for me.
Why? That's your toxic masculinity coming out.
Maybe, but I bias it. I love the music.
That song is really dope.
I love Industry Baby. Like,
yeah, I love it. The message and what it's all about. Yeah. So I'm like, anyone who misunderstood me, you didn't like me in the first place. So why explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you? That's not my job. My job is to uplift women, to make them feel good, whether that's posting a swimsuit and saying, hey, love you cellulite, or whether that's saying, hey, don't worry if you're single, or whatever we're talking about. Like, it's for women, and the people that I am meant to impact, I don't miss. I always get their feedback, and that's that on that.
How do you balance? Because even though you don't get personal, you have got to be personal. You talk about your ex. You talk about the people you date in the bad time. So you what's I can't find
Nightcap with Top.
Yeah. So you spoke with that. You do the swimsuits. I think you did like a dildo thing one time or the masturbation thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So like how do you thread the needle of I'll get personal, but I can get that personal. Like,
yeah. And actually, I think that's important to be transparent and authentic without sharing too much, because my life is my life. At the end of the day, it's like whatever you see, I wanted you to see, and there's still a lot that you don't see.
So like the
there's
like the mountaintop, like you only see. I mean, not the mountain. What's thing? Titanic. What's it called?
Iceberg.
Iceberg.
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is creative, but also you know that we are business people as well. You know, it's entertainment business. It's called business for a reason, and I'm smart. I went to school to study communications, and I have experience in marketing. So for me, anything that I choose to put out there that's personal, there's an end game.
Yeah.
And usually, honestly, not usually, all the time, if I choose to share something personal, it's going to be, I have to ask myself the question before I put, how will this help women?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So it's important to, you know, your end goal.
My end goal. So I know that, okay, like when I did my thing about my ex, first of all, there's a lot of details that I left out of that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So my thing is, the public is not ever going to know exactly 100% of my experience. Yeah. I'm not a fool. Like, I have to keep some things intimate and private. And the funny thing is, anybody who really knows me knows I'm psychotically private. Mm-hmm. I change my number like panties. I like to just...
I don't even have a current number.
Exactly. I'm very...
I talked to that. You said this up on Instagram, you know?
I'm very private, and I the real me and the things I go through behind the scenes, I don't put them out there too. If I go through something, if I put out something there, that means I've already gotten over it. I've already learned what I need to learn, and I'm not currently going through it. Because I believe you have to protect your energy, you have to protect your seeds. So if I speak on something, that means it's done. Mm-hmm. So nothing you could do to me. And then, like, with that situation, I left out a lot of information. And also, I had to think, I was like, okay, how can you use this situation to help women? So that was my mindset going into it. Anytime, like, for instance, the other day I did a TikTok, and this person commented, and they're like, oh, you're 30 and in your 30s and single. And I've been on the internet a long time, so I don't know how I've gotten so good at this, but like negative comments literally don't bother me. Like, I don't get hurt by them at all. But I saw it and I was like, ooh, this is a teaching moment, because I know comments like this would hurt other women. So now how can I use what this person has said to try to pull me down to uplift other women? And so I made a video encouraging other women and letting them know your value is not determined by your marital status, what comes out your vagina, what goes in your vagina. So that's more my approach. When I'm personal, it's me honestly trying to send a message for women and to women, honestly.
And when you get negative feedback from women, does that bother you? When other women who might not know that this is, like, they might think you're just being loud and abrasive.
Yeah.
Do you ever, maybe I should explain it this one, that one, why doing this? Or
no.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I'm trying to over-explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you as a trauma response. I'm not. Yo, they crucified Jesus. No one is gonna like everyone. Yeah. It's okay. And the thing about me is, I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed. I'm liked and loved in real life. I have a really great support system, and I love myself. So those literally, it, like, if I happen to see it, me and my friends be cackling, like, real talk. Like, it rolls off of me, and that's one thing I've just always been really good at. I think my parents instilled a lot of self-confidence in me as a young Black girl, and so from time I was like, whatever you say to me, it's like, what? Like, I don't internalize those things. I can note them to say, like, oh, okay, noted. I need to stay away from this person. This person doesn't mean me well, but I don't internalize them things at all, to be quite honest.
So before we get to the big B in the room,
the big V? What?
B. Yeah, there's two big B's.
There's two big B's?
Yes, I'll get to them.
Two big balls?
Well, no. Well, it might be four, because shout out to Camden Comfort.
Two big B's?
Yes, I'll get
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Before we get to that, my last question. Before that, so you've been mostly, I guess, freelancing or like full-time your whole life. When did you make the decision that I'm not going to try to balance corporate 9 to 5 and that? Before we get to that, I want you to know that the job that you left, I'm not going to say the job in there, the job you left is still a job I'd like to have. I think my last goal in life, I want to be a consultant for that. That's my personal goal. That's okay. Yeah.
Well, you know, I've always, since I was younger, just imagined myself full-time, like, in entertainment, like in Hollywood. I've always imagined myself, like, doing interviews and stuff like that. So having a 9 to 5 forever was never something I honestly saw myself as. But of course, we live in the real world and we live in the Bahamas, and, you know,
that's a major key. Not only do we live in the real world, we live here. It's really here. But I left that job just because it just wasn't serving my higher self. There's a lot of frustration and just being taken for granted, and I was just like, fuck this. Just quit. And what year was that? 2015, 2016? Yeah, I just came back from these drafts. That's 2016.
2016, yeah. And so I was working full time. I actually took up another job after that in marketing, actually, and I was still doing my thing full time, and now I'm back full time 100% again. And I mean, my thing is, I'm just flowing. Like whatever God wants me, and I'm always asking God, now God, are you sure about this? Like, it's because I'm at a point where I don't believe in downing 9 to 5s. Or glorifying working for yourself, because when you work for yourself, you still don't, you work for other people. I still have people to serve. I have clients and people I have to deal with. Duncan, like I'm still working for someone. It's just, I like the flexibility of, you know, being able to wear what I want to wear and work on my own schedule. But one is not better than the other. It's all about what's good for you. And I'm willing to take a 9 to 5 if it's, I'm way more flexible at this point in my life. And I'm like, you know what, my dream is just to be with my life partner, live on a farm, have 2 dogs, a good supply of weed and Prosecco, and like, that's it.
So we in the Sunday, so I don't go to church for like 2 seconds, right? So my 6 years doing this, I've more than often have these moments of like, am I really supposed to be doing this?
Shit.
Right. And every time I think I am done, because as you know, this is the first one that after 3 years, I took like a 3-year break. And every time I think I'm done, how God speaks to me is people will run and come to me, Timmy, where's that? Where's it? So I'm like, and I got to the point where I was ignoring it, and like at the point where I was like, I started to feel empty, like, okay, I actually miss it now. So how, when do you have those moments of doubt? Well, I think mine was like every 2 months I'd be like, am I really supposed to do this? Do you have those moments of doubt?
Oh, certainly. I'm like, I feel like I have an existential crisis every 2 months. But I mean, definitely most recently when I leave Instagram and I was like, fuck this. And I mean, that was a big part of it. I'm constantly asking God, like, is this really for me? Like, am I delusional? Like, am I actually good at this?
And I listened to your vlog this morning, and I had the same question in my head. Do I think I'm more talented than myself?
Like, you really doubt yourself. And for me, well, right now, I can tell you what's happening. Like, when I, you know, signed off Instagram and all this stuff, and I went to Jamaica. I was like, fuck this. I'm going to eat pre-love. And then go on.
You say the best parties you ever... The
best parties. I don't actually know insult, but I don't... Since I came out to Jamaica, I can't eat any parties in Nassau.
Yeah,
I can't.
I feel like that's the best
I
parties.
literally can.
Yeah.
Literally. Shout out to Tasties. I would love to open a franchise. If any Jamaican is listening, but the best. But when I came back, I was like, okay, God, listen here. I don't have no shame. I was never doing this to impress anyone. If this is not for me and you want me to just work 9 to 5, I'm like, I'll do it. I'll take the stability and just whatever, and I will take it. I don't see anything wrong with it.
So I think you actually said that after you ended Nightcap at the top. I think you had a rant saying maybe it's time.
This happens a lot because this is frustrating. This is not an easy career field to be in. Like, people glamorize it, but it's very hard. It's very difficult. And so I was like, anyway, God, I started applying for jobs, all kind of jobs. I was like, God, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply for jobs. And I'm going to pitch this show. Whatever one you want me to do, let it do. And I was applying, I applied for so much fucking jobs. Nothing. And I put the show, like, pitched the show. Like, I just had it written up, and I, like, hit up a few people, and they were like, oh my God, we love it. And I was like, God, what the fuck is going on? Like, you sure? I'm very confused. And I was like, well, if you open into this door and you literally not allow me to get jobs that I'm more than qualified for, is just like, I guess we still riding with this till the wheels fall off. But I still get mad. I was talking to God about this week. I'm like, listen there, so like, I would be happy to just be like a trophy wife, just a housewife, whatever. You know, it's really difficult, and I do get frustrated. I'm not gonna act like I don't, and it's scary, especially the older you get. It's like,
me with a 4-year-old
and you have a child, it's gonna say, and a wife.
I have insane in cases of imposter syndrome, because like I finished college, I studied journalism, but it's like always like, okay, do I just think I'm better than actually? So I just pray like, Lord, if you want me to do it, you do it.
Do it. And I mean, obviously, you keep opening the doors. That's what I say in the show. I say one thing with Tim A keeps the job.
Amen.
And you do. You move very smoothly, and so that must be a sign. Like,
he just telling me, just keep going.
Just keep going.
So the big B is in the room. Body by Brazen.
Oh, that's a big.
The big B.
The big B.
So
okay.
Brazen, because you have 2 things, Brazen.
What does
Brazen? What does that word mean to you, Brazen?
Brazen, it just speaks to me. It means bold, unapologetic, no shame, and all the positive ways. And that's what I stand for, and that's what I want women to feel. I'm always shocked when a lot of women message me about how not confident they are. It makes me sad because then I look at these women, I'm like, come on, like are you kidding?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, and it's sad. A lot of women have been torn down like by society or social media or relationships, and a lot of people aren't confident. And I want women to feel that, like the way I feel good about myself when I post, when I do it, I want every woman should feel that. You shouldn't feel less than. So that's the message I'm always gonna preach and put out there.
Body by Brazen. So why some suits? Why? But men actually know why, because you love
Exactly.
it.
I literally.
But when did you say, okay, from me wearing this to wearing my own to sell to making a profit from this? How was that?
I have literally for years actually been trying to do this and figure it out, because I mean it's not easy, like figuring out all this stuff like vendors and whatever.
I hate the deal. Like I can't.
Yeah, it's really hard. So literally, I've been wanting to do this before the panini, and I guess I felt imposter syndrome too, because it was like, well, I'm not really a businesswoman. I'm just like a personality, like, you know, that bullshit, negative thinking, lower self thinking,
the devil.
Yeah, and so I just was honestly procrastinating. And something jumped up at me this year. I don't know if it's the panini or you realize how short life is. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. Like, literally, like you said, I'm like, I'm out here selling for everyone. But why don't I sell something of my own? I'm promoting all these brands. I'm promoting all these brands. Why not promote the kind of thing I want to promote? And you know, anyone who knows me knows I love the beach. I love swimwear. I love it. I'm an island gal. And so I'm like, this is a natural. Isn't some far out, like if I was selling.
It's in line with your brand.
It's in line with my brand, and people know that I'm doing it. Like it's real. It's not inauthentic, which is important to me as well.
Like imagine you just start selling. I mean, I can't go to mine because
you like lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird.
Lawnmowers by top.
It's weird. Yeah.
Right. Like no way.
No.
You guys will be lawnmowers.
No.
And then the next thing, Brazen. Your limited digital series that I'm also a part of.
Yes, limited digital series Brazen. Now on my youtube.com/theycallmetap. I'm also gonna put it on Facebook too.
Go back to your original.
No. But it's gonna be like, I love the fact that you said limited, because I am bringing my page. I'm gonna have a separate page. I hate Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate Facebook.
When you get my full-time job, I have Facebook.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It's like geriatrics, political, fake bullshit. It's toxic. I can't take it. So, Timmy is on the first episode. I literally love it. You did a good job.
And I think it wouldn't have been as funny if it wasn't the right mix of people. Like it was a good mix. Yeah, mix of people.
It was a good mix, and the questions and stuff we talked about, it was fun. I didn't want to do anything too serious.
Yeah. Because we literally living through one of the most serious times in history.
This is awful. I cannot believe I'm part of a global event. I hate it. I think it's just dawned on me that this ain't ending this year.
No.
I thought it would.
I thought it would until I realized how people don't want to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
And people think,
it's not happening. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be next year too. And it's really hard. It's stressful. It's very stressful.
I kept saying, I'll do this when this ends. No. What if it goes, I die before it ends? Let me just do what I got to do.
Yeah, I was the same way. From last year, at one point in the pandemic, like, you know, there's so many roller coasters.
Yeah.
You have the part where you're super creative. You have the part where you're just eating. You have the part, like, I had a part where I was just depression. I had a part where I was just shopping. I'm not kidding. Me and friend Sean.
Shout out to Fancy.
I kid you not. Me and her used to be up 3 o'clock in the morning.
Catching deals.
Shopping. And we did that for like 3 days straight. I'm not kidding. 3 days straight. Pretty living on it. 3 days straight. And then I was like, oh my God, my John, like, what's wrong with us? I think we were stressed the fuck out.
Yeah.
And that was our way of dealing with it. I bought so much fucking clothes that I just now wearing this year. Because, like, where the fuck were we going?
Where was going?
We weren't going anywhere.
Nothing was open. You couldn't travel.
So I look at that and I was like, girl, you was going through it. Like, and then my John used to be like, don't worry, by August, this will be over. She's a Leo. We can go out and wear these outfits.
Well, it actually was over in China.
No, but we did get locked. Yeah, but we got locked down, remember, in August last year?
I had just moved. And then as soon as I moved, lockdown 2 weeks. I was like,
so yeah, you can't wait. We don't know when this thing's going to clear up. We just do the best with what you can, and, you know.
So Brazen is a limited series, but you also have, so is Brazen going to be here to say, like, or are you going to, or is this Brazen? Are we currently, because I love music, so I love when artists do eras. Like, for instance, The Weeknd. Every The Weeknd album is an era. So is Brazen going to be this era, or will you keep Brazen, the swim line going a little longer and just introduce a different show? Like
Well,
how seasons? Is it going to be Brazen seasons or is this Brazen? And
nah,
then,
I don't think so. I don't think so. To be quite honest, that's not my intention. I definitely, like I was saying in my YouTube video, I want to do just serialized content. So I'm gonna do this. Now I will say, Brazen, I do have an idea for one more season, and it will be different. And I have been, but obviously that depends on how people respond to it. The money,
yeah, that money.
we need money.
More
Money. Shout out to sponsors. Thank you, Lord. Duncan and all of them. Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris. Yeah.
Bahamian Brewery. Sans. Pizza Hut. Twisted Lime.
Yeah.
Thank God. But we want more money. So if I have a really dope idea, I don't want to put it out there because I don't like to talk about things till they're done.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because the evil eye and shit. You know, might have to freaking call someone from Cat Island to do Opera. Turn my haters into a raccoon. But I don't like talking about things till they're done because you know the juju me. But I have an idea that I'm toying, but the intention isn't to do that. It was supposed to be limited.
So Eras.
I do love it. I'm a fan of that because it's sustainable. This that I've been doing for the past 13 years is not sustainable for me anymore.
I'm happy that you brought it up on your vlog. Please watch her vlog when she talked about why she was missing. This life is not sustainable. Before the pandemic, I used to post on Instagram every single day for 5 years. And it helped me get out there and be able to garner sponsorship to do my stuff. But after the pandemic, I was able to not post every day, and I don't think I'll ever be able to go back to posting every day. That was like every day to make sure post. I mean, my brand is music, culture, sports, so I had to always. So it's always to be in my mind. That pressure in the back of your mind, you need to post something. But being able to take a break was amazing, and I don't think I could get back to that. Like this is people think you go to events free. The life is cool. And I mean, it's cool. But in the end,
my thing is the pressure don't bother me because one thing with me, I can take pressure. Pause. But you said we could say anything.
Yeah, anything you want.
But for me, it's more the boxing and stuff is bothering me a lot because it's just like, okay, sponsors only want to pay me to like come on and do stuff like that, like pose, and it's just like, okay, I can do that, but I can't only do that, and that was the part that was bothering me a lot. Like, I can keep up with the wolves. I can. I'm head of the pack.
But you don't want to just do this.
I don't want to just do that. And that was starting to really get on me because it's just like, I'm not coming on the internet to just tell people, especially in a panini where people are jobless. I'm coming and telling people in the height of a pandemic, oh, eat Harry, and that started to get on me from a personal, moral, ethical level. And it's just like, I'm feeling boxing like, y'all don't want to, you know how this community is. Like, sometimes it seems like they don't want to sponsor serious stuff like documentaries, stuff like that. It's all about hee ha ha, putting on a wig, doing this, oh girl, and ain't nothing wrong with that because it's a beautiful part of our culture. But Bahamians are not a monolith, and humans aren't a monolith. I want to be able to do that, Shaniqua, but also if I want to do a documentary on domestic violence, I want to have that supported as well because that is important, and that's the shit that like was like I had to step back because it's like, no, I'm not gonna be boxed in. Like, y'all not gonna have me on here and just selling. I realize at my core I'm not a capitalist, which is really hard to not be a capitalist because in this world, and mind you, I want to be comfortable. I want to take care of my family, but I realize I'm really not a capitalist at my core. Like, I do things a lot because of the love and the greater purpose, whether people see that or not. So that was the part that was bugging me.
And I'm happy you brought documentaries. My very last question for you guys, was, and you can see that again. I think the last one was Wapen.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Tell people, because they might not know. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we did, tell me, you really been...
No, I know some things.
You know some days. We did a documentary about a shanty town in Nassau, Bahamas, a Haitian shanty town, which I just had an interest in. I love storytelling. I really do. And I love learning new things. I could make a show about anything because of my natural curiosity. So we did there's a lot going on in the media at the time about Haitians, and I was like, well, everybody's talking about and around them. Why don't we go and talk to them and hear what they have to say and find out information? So we did that documentary. I haven't done a documentary since. I definitely want to do a documentary on domestic violence. I actually had started a couple years ago, but that was really difficult because And I get it. We live in a small island. And some people who gave their stories, they then wanted to take them away. And I'm not going to force anyone.
Yeah.
Because I can't protect you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the police can't protect you either. So I had to just take it like, okay, you don't want your story there anymore. You're back with this person or whatever. You're in fear for your life. Then that was kind of it. But I would love to do something about domestic violence because that's something that's very, again, women, it's very, I'm passionate about it.
During the pandemic, like the rate spiked between children getting beaten, domestic violence. That's something we need to discuss. We need to like shine light on that.
We have a huge problem and not enough is being done about it, especially when half your population is women.
Yeah.
Like, it's disgusting. The lack of support, whether it's in the law or there's a serious lack of support, preventative measures. My little experience that I had being harassed by that man at the beach bar opened my eyes.
Dirty man.
Yeah, and a lot of other women said the same. Jesus Christ! Even I spoke to someone this week who said they had an experience where they were physically beat, and the person who beat them actually went to the police with them and confessed it, and the police still didn't do anything. So it's a lot that like we need better laws that can hold people accountable. We need more facilities that can house women because a lot of times the situation is financial as well. Like how do you leave someone who's paying on bills or he may kick you out? You know, we need more. The crisis center and stuff needs more support on that because they don't have enough. It's only so long you could put someone in a hotel room before they have to go home.
Right.
And most importantly, we need education. Like, well, your wife is a teacher, so maybe you can speak to it. Her experience. I know growing up, me in primary, junior, and high school, domestic violence was never talked about or never. It was a lot of things I'm learning now. It's things I learned through experiences of my friends or me, and then doing research online at college or watching certain movies and like watching Law and Order. It may sound funny, but like,
I
learned a lot from that.
SVU was my after school,
yeah. So, but in school we weren't taught about like consent. Why aren't we being taught about consent in family life?
You bring up my wife. So she had I think I can't remember who she brought, but she had someone come to teach her students, and they did not understand what consent meant. Like they had to be broken down, and she was just in shock of.
And how old are they?
She's central 12. That's
wow.
14 to 16. They literally did not know what consent like that because if you tell me yes, if you tell me no tomorrow, they don't understand that no, they think if you tell me yes once, that's it. And they really break it down. They do not know what consent is. And that's insane. It's insane,
but it's not their fault. This is our responsibility now. The older generation, those gatekeepers, it's their responsibility. I just don't. Obviously, you know, I'm not in politics. I'm not in that world. I just don't understand why it's so hard to get these things in the curriculum. We have a lot of intelligent teachers and researchers who can come together, who can come together and put it together, put the syllabus. But we have a serious rape culture in the Bahamas, and we need to start teaching kids because it's at that age when you start to mature and you're interested in sex. Like, start teaching consent. I mean, even from primary school, because even though from primary school you wouldn't want to be having sex, there's nasty ass adults. So children need to know like what's appropriate and what's not.
And boundaries.
And it's not taught. Like, I'm not surprised that those kids didn't know what consent was because I swear all this talk with consent and stuff like this, I've only now found out about in adulthood, which is sad. Yeah. Like, I learned nothing.
If your parents don't tell you or whatever, you
literally don't know. The only thing I can remember in sex ed in school was like you learn about the anatomy, of course, and then you learn about HIV, AIDS, and that like that. They don't talk about anything else that has to do with sexuality at all. And it's outdated, it's archaic, and it needs to be updated because knowledge is power. And the more we know, the better we can do. Yeah.
So I don't want to answer, you know. So
no, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about dicks.
No.
Talk about.
But we could talk about top.
Yes.
So this is like 2009. When did you
13 years for sure.
It's 13 years.
I'm telling you, I got 13.
So you and God has kept it open for you, and you foresee yourself still going on this. I personally want to see you on Netflix.
Me too. That is what I want.
I know. But I know. So that's why I want to see you.
Oh God,
you on Netflix.
I want to see me.
You on Netflix and me on ESPN.
Yes, but I think it can be done. I think it can be. Yeah. I don't think it's a question of ability or talent.
Just getting there.
It's just getting there.
Yeah.
And we got to get there on our own. Unfortunately, I don't think our country does enough to support their talented people.
And I also don't think we have enough people. I mean, like there's a study that 10% of each population supports the arts. So 10% of our, whatever the actual number is, let's say it's actually 400,000 people. That's what 40,000 people. That's not enough people to really finance all the creators. So I think it's also a population thing. That's why we have to.
It is 100% a population.
Other
thing.
markets.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I think we are on par with any other creators in the world.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. When we get an opportunity, we shine. Whether that's in sports or
just last
week,
we own the 400 meter.
We won the Olympics. We won the whole Olympics.
We own the tracks.
So
they belong to us.
But how much involvement did the Bahamas actually have in like helping and developing these people? Sadly, is the question we have to ask.
I know they had a lot of because I know them both, Johnny and Steve. They have a lot of private funding, because people don't understand. Yeah, they race twice a year, but they have to pay for training,
literally every day, physio,
every day, vitamins.
They gotta eat right.
Yeah, and like I spoke to Johnny before we went to like something for my old job, and she was like, the money she was getting from this job was enough to pay for vitamins and things. That's just
the fucking vitamins.
Just the vitamins, and that's $2,000. That's just her vitamins. So it's an insane amount of money. Like LeBron. LeBron spends $1 million a year.
That's what he said.
LeBron spends $1 million a year on his body.
On his body.
That's just the icing. That's what he eats. That's $1 million a year.
Wow.
For the best basketball player. So imagine that's just training. That's what actually putting in the work. It's just the money he spends for the facility is to train.
But I mean, our athletes deserve it. They are winning these medals. They're giving us all this press that we can never pay for.
Free marketing.
I saw Cardi B was on a thing.
Listen to me.
That's free promo. How much followers does Cardi have?
Too much. A lot.
And so now all of them know about the Bahamas.
That was 3 days ago, and I still seen that same post on my timeline.
Okay. So invest in them.
Shelly-Ann lost. The Jamaicans came fourth and fifth in the race, and Shelly-Ann wasn't even in the race, and she made a post congratulating Shawnee.
Okay, so this is free promo. They're putting the country on the map. Invest in them. It's worth every dollar, every penny.
It's like you will get more from investing in them than a $1 million ad for the Super Bowl.
Facts.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
That's all you heard is Bahamas for the last couple of days.
Yeah,
every day.
That's it.
I have friends that's boosting tourism
in Canada. Who people who love tracking in Scotland. All he has about congratulations to your countrymen. Oh man, but Lori, I can't wait to watch your episode in your show and your Brazen.
Yes.
And shout out to Top for always being authentically herself.
Thank you.
And this has been episode 2. For that, look out for more from They Call Me Top. And enjoy the Brazen era. And see you next time.
Who that? Whoa, hold that. Who that? White, free days. Who that? Whoa.